Hello students! I'm Almeda Macaranas and I will be your teacher for your lesson today. Our lesson is about properties of parallelogram, which leads us to the objective gives the different properties of a parallelogram. So what is a parallelogram? A parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and congruent. Now, as you can see in the figure, that is a parallelogram ABCD. You can see there that the two opposite sides, which are segment DC and segment AB, are parallel and congruent, as well as segment AD and segment BC are parallel and congruent. Here is parallelogram ABCD. You can see that the parallelogram is divided into two triangles. We have triangle ADC and triangle CBA. What do you notice? What can you say about the two triangles? How about this one? Parallelogram ABCD. What can you say about angles A and C? How about angles B and D? Are the angles congruent? Another parallelogram ABCD. What do you notice with angles A and D? How about angles C and B? Are the angles supplementary? Another parallelogram ABCD. What do you notice with segment DC and segment AB? How about segment AD and segment CB? Are their lengths equal? Another parallelogram ABCD. If I'm going to connect points B and D, like this one, and points A and C, what do you notice? The activities that we did a while ago will lead us to the properties of a parallelogram. Here are the properties of a parallelogram. Number 1, each diagonal divides a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. Number 2, the opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Number 3, the consecutive angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. 4, the opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. And number 5, the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Here in parallelogram ABCD, as you can see there, that a parallelogram is divided into two congruent triangles. Also, in another parallelogram ABCD, it is also divided into two congruent triangles. So each diagonal there divides a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. So as you can see in the figure, the triangle ADB is congruent to triangle CBD. While in the second triangle, triangle ADC is congruent to triangle CBA. Now, in parallelogram ABCD, the opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. So, meaning to say, angles DAB must be congruent to angle BCD. And angle ABC is also congruent to angle ADC. Third property, the non-opposite angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. The two non-opposite angles of a parallelogram are angles A and B, or angle B and angle C, or angle C and angle D, or angle D and angle A. It means that angle A and angle B are supplementary. Angle B and angle C are also supplementary. Angle C and angle D are supplementary, and angle D and angle A are also supplementary. Number 4, the opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. It means segment AD is opposite of segment BC, so they must be congruent. And another pair of opposite sides are segment AB and segment DC. Number 5, the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. It means segment AC and segment BD intersect at point E, and then they bisect each other, which means each diagonal here is divided into two congruent segments. So, segment AE is congruent to segment EC. And segment DE is congruent to segment EB. Let us have the first example. MAIL is a parallelogram. If the measurement of angle A is equal to 100 degrees, what is the measurement of angle L? So this is the parallelogram MAIL. Angle A is the opposite of angle L. And we know that angle A is congruent to angle L because they are opposite angles. So, angle A is congruent to angle L. So, their measurement should also be equal. So, substituting the measurement of angle A by 100 degrees, it means that the measurement of angle L must also be equal to 100 degrees. Another example, LOVE is a parallelogram. If the measurement of angle L is equal to x plus 15 and the measurement of angle V is equal to 40 degrees, what is x? So the given figure is parallelogram LOVE. So we know that angle L is the opposite of angle B. So, opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. So, we can say that angle L is congruent to angle V. And if they are congruent, their measures are also equal. So, the measurement of angle L is equal to the measurement of angle V. Since we know that the measurement of angle L is x plus 15, so we will substitute the measurement of angle L. So we have x plus 15 is equal to 40 because the measurement of angle V here is equal to 40 degrees. So to isolate x, we are going to have the equation x is equal to 40 minus 15 using the addition property of equality. So we subtracted 15 to both sides of the equation. So we came up with x is equal to 40 minus 15. Then combining 40 and 15, so we have x now is equal to 25. Another problem, quadrilateral CARE is a parallelogram. If the measurement of angle A is 60 degrees, what is the measurement of angle R? Now, this is the given figure, parallelogram CARE. So, what can you say about angle A and angle R? They are non-opposite angles, so they must be supplementary. So, angle A and angle R are supplementary. Therefore, whatever is the measurement of angle A plus the measurement of angle R, that should be equal to 180 degrees. So, substituting the values of angle A, which is 60 degrees, then I'll just copy the measurement of angle R here, then equating that to 180 degrees using addition property of equality. So, we would be having an equation R is equivalent to 180 minus 60 degrees. Simplifying this, we have the measurement of angle R is 120 degrees. How about this one? Quadrilateral RAIN is a parallelogram. If RA is 14, how long is side NI? Now, this is the given figure. Okay, so RA is 14 here. So, what is side NI? Notice, they are actually opposite sides. So, they must be congruent. Okay? So segment RA is congruent to segment NI. So, whatever is the distance or the length of segment RA must also be equal to the distance or measurement of segment NI. So, by substitution, we have if RA is equal to 14, so therefore, NI must also be equal to 14. Okay, another example. So, CDEF is a parallelogram with FD is equal to 12. What is the length of segment FG? So, if this is the given figure, parallelogram CDEF, so if FD is 12, here, this is segment FD. So, segment FD is actually a diagonal. What is the length of FG? This one here. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, since we have learned that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other, so therefore, CE here bisects segment FD. So, FG, or the distance of segment FG, is equal to 1/2 of the whole diagonal FD. So, FG is equal to 1/2 FD. And the measurement of segment FD is 12. Okay, I just substituted it. So 1/2 of 12 is actually equal to 6. Okay, let us sum it up. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and congruent. Here are the properties of parallelogram. Number 1, each diagonal divides a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. The opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. The consecutive angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. The opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. And the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Did you understand it very well? If not, you may go back to the lesson presented in your module. If today's lesson is very clear to you, then congratulations! You may now answer the exercises in your module. Good luck!